Namaste.
Welcome back, and I want to discuss today a little bit more in depth of Yama and Niyama. As you know, Yama and Niyama is the first two limbs of yoga out of 8, and this can sometimes seem as very hard to follow, very hard to incorporate in your practice. Let remind yourself that yoga is not just the asana practice, not just the pranayama, not just the meditation of it, but yoga is think about it as a way of life. Okay, so practicing yoga is not just the 90-minute 60-90 minute 3 times a week maybe in a mat, but also how you live a yogic life as well. So it's coming from your behavior, from your thought, from how you treat yourself, how you treat people, going to your physical practice on the mat, in and on and off the mat as well. So what is Yama and what is Niyama? So Yama is seen as social ethics, as the way to live, the way to treat other, how to live honorably, and is include of ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigara, graha. Then niyama of ourselves, we have saucha, santosa, tapas, swadhyaya, and isvara pranidhana. So the first yama is ahimsa. I find this one of the most important things in our life. Ahimsa means non-violence. We tend to think when we talk about violence is the physical things, but it also focus on the non-physical, the mental non-violent as well. We practice non-violence to other people, to any living creatures, to the nature, to animal, and at the same time non-violence to ourselves as well. It's highly potential that because of ahimsa, that yogi practice, it led to a common thinking that yogi are vegetarian because we don't eat meat. We try not to stay away from hurting animal. That's one way of explaining it, but there are many other things that may lead to a lot of yogi practice vegetarian. We go to ahimsa off the mat, saying you're not hurting everyone physically, mentally. You don't talk bad about people. You don't say things that hurtful to other. We don't do animal cruelty. We respect and treat people in a respectful way so that everyone can feel calm and harmony. And at the same time to ourselves, hurting yourself, if it's, for example, suicidal or harmful action to self, to your physical body is one extreme way of that. But every day, you know, when you have you done something not very nice, you feel frustrated or you feel disappointment about yourself, that is one of the way of harming yourself mentally. For example, I keep thinking I'm not good enough. I don't talk nicely enough. I don't cook well. I don't do things well. That is the violence to yourself in mentally. Mentally, you abuse yourself about all the disappointment, all this mistake, all this regret about yourself. On the mat, we can be violent to yourself in the way that you push yourself too much, you stretch too much, you injure yourself, that violence. Always think about embracing what you are, who you are, observing yourself, observing your body. What is your limit? What can you challenge yourself? And when you need to step back as well. Also in yoga practice, there's an important part about diet, how you treat yourself, how you eat normally. You don't starve yourself, but at the same time don't overeating. When you look at yourself, you want to eat less or eat more, make yourself more pretty or less pretty, but the true meaning of that is, in the core self, if you're accepting yourself for what you are and who you are, what you have, then there's not need to go to extreme pushing in a violent way to yourself mentally and physically. Satya is truthfulness, is non-lying. That the a literal meaning of that. And this means you don't lie to other people, you don't deceive people, and at the same time you don't lie to yourself. Okay, so lie to the other people outside is simple. It's not telling the truth, tricking, scheming. To yourself is lying to yourself is can be, for example, today you don't feel good, you feel a little bit sad, depressed, but you keep saying, oh, I'm fine. And then you're going out and putting a mask, and after lying to yourself, you're lying to other people about how you're feeling today. Physically, if your body don't feel strong and challenged, then you should step back and listen to it and practice in a more safer way to yourself. But then if you don't feel, and at the same time, if you don't feel like happy, don't feel healthy today, then just maybe abstain from other people and say, sorry, I'm not feeling well today, I'm not going out with you. As simple as that. It go beyond just simply about the small lie to the big lie. But at the same time, we have to talk about what is a fine line between a white lies, a little lies, a little untruthfulness. And this is, sometimes we think, oh, a little lie doesn't really matter. But if you keep doing that over and over the times, it's become your practice, and is something that you don't feel bad about it. And this is something very, very dangerous. And do take note of that. With every little white lie you tell, over the time, when it becomes a habit, it will lead to something bigger. Okay. And the same when you come to the mat, when you practice your asana, your pranayama, be truthful about yourself. Embrace. That's when at the beginning of the class we normally sit down, we scan your body, and see, how do you feel today? What is your condition for today, for that particular moment? We see ourselves as a whole over the long time, and also at the particular moment as well. And from there, we steer and guide in yourself to a truthful practice for that day and for the journey as well. If you have practiced and progress, then accept it. If it's not there yet, we also accept it and we work. Because only with truthful in your practice and in your life, then you can start to see progress. Without the truth, you won't be able to progress in your practice. Okay? Next yama is quite interesting, is asteya. So steya is stealing, and asteya means non-stealing. We think about non-stealing, let's talk about externally. We don't steal things from people, the physical thing, the asset. Don't take it from someone else. Oh, I see this very nice, let's take it away. I like that person, but he with someone else, or I'm gonna scheme and steal him from her, for example. That on the physical things, we don't steal experience. And when I say steal experience, is meaning everything we do in life, there's a journey, there's a time frame for it. If it takes this much of time, and we try to concentrate it to a shorter period of time, we are robbing ourselves from the experience, and robbing ourselves from fully enjoying the journey. Okay, that opportunity to know it. Let's say, for example, we go to eat a very nice meal in a restaurant, let's go to Japanese restaurant, for example, and Japanese food normally need time to appreciate because it's beautiful kind of cuisine with the look, the taste, the full experience as well. um, but then you go there, normally they allow you 2 to 3 hours to get the full course of um, this beautiful feast for you. But then you say, okay, no, I just want to cram it down, brush it because I have something else after, and that amazing meal you compress it into an hour, for example. You still eat everything, you probably still see everything, and you taste everything. However, would that 1 hour is enough? Would that 1 hour give you the full experience to expose to everything that related to that meal? Have a think about it. In yoga rubbing experience, when you come to the mat, to get to a certain pose, you do have to go step by step, warming up the body, preparing yourself, open up your body to get into a particular asana, especially a difficult one. It's typical that we rush through, we go to get there quicker. And so we kind of robbing ourselves of that opportunity to explore the body, to explore the mind, and until we can get to the asana in the really good meaning. Asana mean a comfortable and seated position, which means we feel comfort, at ease, and stability when we perform the asana. And also this stealing of experience, stealing of times can be quite dangerous when it can lead to injury, and afterward you may not feel so great about it because you have missed some exploration about yourself and your body. Another thing about Ashdeya I want to talk about is time. Stealing time from yourself, stealing time from other, wasting time. Time is precious. You only live once, and the moment pass is past. You can never gain it back. So if you do something so meaningless, then you are stealing this from other people, from your own self. Same thing, spending time with people for no reasons, creating no meaningful for your life, wasting time on people that doesn't really matter for you, wasting time on things that are not important, wasting time on regret, on the mistake that's already made, on the past experience that you couldn't move on to, that is stealing from yourself, and potentially stealing from other people as well. Ahimsa, Satya, and Asteya kind of intertwined into each other. So you see element of Ahimsa, element of Satya, element of Asteya in the same experience. And honestly, beyond, you're gonna experience all Yama and again the Yama as well in one particular experience in your life. Brahmacharya. There's a lot of question about this Yama. So Brahmacharya, the literal meaning of, and of course back then, long time ago, all this a lot of many yoga guru, they practice celibacy, and they don't have sexual activity in their life. But actually opposite, some of you may know about Tantra yoga. Tantra yoga and tantric about sexual engagement, sexual satisfaction is not the same thing. It's quite a different thing. But when you talk about tantric tantra, then what is that with Brahmacharya? Was it the same thing? Is it a different thing? How is it conflicting? In a more meaningful way to understand Brahmacharya, we would use the word, the right use of energy. So you focus your energy and things that you want to achieve. For example, when you're studying and you want to achieve good grade, then you have to focus your energy into study. You um, restrain yourself from the other sensual desire, like going out, um, spending the afternoon watching Netflix, and just go to coffee with a friend, for example. I remember when I was in college, and I wanted to go on an exchange program, and of course you have to be top student, so that you have a better pick, you have more choices. So for the whole semester, I pretty much lock myself in and study so I can get super good grades. In a way, I did get it. I think there was like top 5 student or something, and I got on my top choice to go on exchange program. But what is here, when I was focused a lot, I practiced all this dedication in my life, but I also stealing myself a little experience that I didn't enjoy anything about that semester in your life. So that is a way of balancing between a different yama and how you live your life. Or in love and in life, think about jealousy. We envy people because of their money, their asset. We're jealous because of the love that everyone have, and we feel insecure because we doesn't have things like that. And although sensual emotional desire is thing that will lead us in the wrong path, in the destructive path, and brahmacharya is where we can steer our energy away from those and focus on thing that positive thing that you want to achieve, whether it's be money, it's be love, it's be happiness, and something more tangible and right away. That how brahmacharya means. Okay. Brahmacharya on the mat, let me think. It is the same thing. You want to achieve something in your yoga practice and you focus on that. Whether it's be you want to go on headstand, you want to be able to do a handstand, you want to be able to practice Nauli, you be able to focus and have a longer, deeper breath, you be able to get deeper into your meditation. That is where you should put your energy into that and away from things like, for example, I'm too weak, I can't focus, I don't want to practice it, let's stay away from it. Things like that. Okay. Then the last one is aparigraha, is mean no greed. No greed of the physical thing, no greed for emotion thing like love and affections and impact. Aparigraha and ashdeya, no stealing, link very closely to each other. Yeah. So greed, everyone have greed, and this is something we work our whole life to stay away from that. Jealousy is one of the symptoms of greed, because we didn't have it, that's why we want to have it, and we were dreaming of things that other people have. People have a nicer watch, a nicer car, nicer clothes, bigger house. The parents is maybe a little bit nicer than yours. Their partner is richer than yours, for example. So we're getting jealous about that thing, and from jealousy is come to the point that you want things that not belonging to you, and from wanting things that not belonging to you is will lead to you have the motion, the tendency to go and steal it. Okay. The greed in yoga practice is just to want a little bit more. Today you'll be able to maybe say practicing headstand. Today you may be able to stand for 5 seconds and say, no, I just want a little bit more. I want a little bit more. And if I'm between want a little bit more as a greedy, the greediness of today, to obtain more, to possess more, as opposed to pushing yourself to the limit. go beyond what you can do and change and challenge yourself. That is very fine line. Because if you keep going, go beyond your limit and keep pushing yourself in that way, get a little more, often a little more, you may push yourself into a violence against yourself, and that's again ahimsa. Okay, so think about that. All this five yama is intertwined, and you experience one thing or another or many things at the same times. And as I noted before, this is a lifelong journey. So you take your time. Everything you do and you experience something.